The killing of 9 Palestinians in Jenin yesterday was the deadliest day in the West Bank for 2 decades, and once again has brought Israel and Palestinians to the edge of a new war. Israel says it was acting on intelligence and that the raid foiled imminent terror attacks. A 61-year-old Palestinian woman was killed in the crossfire, though. Overnight, rockets were fired from Gaza into southern Israel in retaliation. The Israeli military intercepted them and launched their own airstrikes against Hamas targets in the Strip. Nablus, like Jenin, has been the centre of Palestinian resistance. Balata, which is on the edge of the city, is the largest refugee camp in the West Bank and is regularly raided by Israeli forces hunting their enemy. We were taken through the narrow, claustrophobic alleyways to meet them.
We've been taken to see fighters from the Al-Aqsa Brigade, one of the biggest militant groups in the West Bank. This is their stronghold. They're in regular fights with Israeli forces here, and they've agreed to speak to us on camera.
They are young men, heavily armed, and say they're ready to die defending their land.
الوضع الحالي للران مخيم بلاطة تصعيد من قوات الاحتلال على المخيمات بالضفة الغربية وخاص مخيم جنين ومخيم بلاطة عدة اقتحامات بتكون فيها الوحدات الإسرائيلية الخاصة. امبارح تم اقتحام آخر المخيم عندنا وتم الاشتباك مع جنود الاحتلال واعتقال شابين من داخل المخيم.
An Israeli observation tower looks down into the camp from a surrounding hill. The IDF watches and listens to everything going on.
In the West Bank, in the bigger region, some people say there'll be a third intifada. Do you think there will be a popular uprising?
أعتقد أنه من ضغوطات الاحتلال والحكومة اليمنية راح تمد للضفة الغربية بأكملها.
The alleyways of Nablus's old city are decorated in posters celebrating dead militants, many of them killed in recent months. Israel says they were terrorists, but for many young Palestinians, they are heroes, martyrs who died fighting the Israeli occupation, and the talk of a new intifada is growing louder.
I think that there is intifada is coming.
You think a third intifada is
Yes,
coming?
I think that there is a third intifada. Why? There is not hope now, my people.
Ahmed Kala was shot dead by Israeli forces one morning earlier this month. He was on his way to work with his son Kusai in the car beside him. They were caught at a temporary checkpoint, and when drivers started to get frustrated, the Israeli soldiers fired a stun grenade at the car that Ahmed and Kusai were in, and then sprayed them with tear gas. Ahmed got out of the car to remonstrate, and the soldiers shot him.
What is your feeling towards the Israeli soldiers who shot your father and towards Israelis in general?
والله الله يسامح.
Do you think there will ever be justice for what happened to your father?
لا.
Initially, the IDF claimed that Ahmed had a knife and had tried to attack the soldiers. They later changed the story and admitted he was unarmed. Many of the Palestinians killed by Israeli forces are militants, but increasingly innocent civilians are caught up in the escalating violence. It adds to a sense of hopelessness and anger, which is why so many young men in particular are taking up arms and turning to violence. Right now, any prospect of peace talks or even a two-state solution feels a long way off. Neither side is in the mood to talk or to compromise. Alistair Buckle, Sky News, in Nablus in the West Bank.